Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know exactly why President Trump is going to win? And not only win re-election, but do you want to know, and Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee. I'm not buying this charade. I don't care. I'll tell you the same thing up until November 2nd. Or November 3rd, when he defeats, if they were so inept and incompetent enough to go with Biden. Clinton has the gravitas. She has the experience. She's a wonderful human being. Nobody has done more. She sacrificed so much for basically all of our sins. She's like a deity. She's amazing. But aside from that, do you want to know why President Trump is going to win again? Look at, and I won't even say the name, our favorite progressive congresswoman, God bless her, amazing human being, very intelligent, really wisdom not seen since Socrates. So, yesterday, President Trump signs 4 executive orders specifically addressing the issues that progressives have obsessed over. Rightfully so. These are important issues. So, this wonderful and brilliant and talented congresswoman writes, "Billionaires need the working class. The working class does not need billionaires." 435,000 likes. Okay, do you understand what I'm talking about here? To my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me not only every incentive to rock these live streams, but you help me remain independent, and I'm just greatly I appreciate greatly your support, especially as an independent voice, constantly going up against the lame, absurd, ludicrous spin from the majority of media. I just thank you very, very much to my super chat and also to my new Patreons. Thank you very much. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, the 2 best moderators in all of YouTube. And ladies and gentlemen, I urge you all, start your YouTube channels, whatever it is, whatever you're interested in, whatever experiences you've had in your life. If you want to share, them with the world and talk about, it could be anything from sports to gardening to food to politics to whatever, music, to start your YouTube channel, and when you do, you'll realize what I'm talking about. When I say that, when I thank Eric H526 and Luke St. Martin, when I thank Quick Draw Luke St. Martin and the regulator Eric H526, I thank them because not only they do such amazing, it's just out of the goodness of their heart. They do this, they moderate my chat, the live streams. It's so important because YouTube, part of the algorithm now is actually the comments. So the comments are being filtered through the algorithm, and if you don't have good moderators, the potential to suffer as a content creator is pretty high. So I just want to thank the 2 moderators, the 2 amazing moderators, 2 best in all of YouTube. But ladies and gentlemen, when you go ahead and you have you have Trump signs executive order, extends federal unemployment benefits, protects against evictions, defers student loan payments, suspends payroll tax. If the rebuttal is, it's going to hurt Social Security, you can't ever. They never be happy. You can't ever placate or appease the left. It's never enough. So you should have thought about that when Democrats and media were touching themselves in ecstasy by saying, we just have to shut down the economy to save lives. There could have been maybe some middle ground between Mad Max and, battling the pandemic. You could have tackled the pandemic, social distancing, masks, everything, but then perhaps, allowed the economy to function. I don't know. Was that even possible? Was that even on the list of feasible or possible alternatives? But of course, you have governors spike up. That's it. And then they say they try to paint this as, well, we're going to be the government, where Democrats are, utilize government to help people. We're going to help you. Lisa Lister! Supporting my favorite voice on YouTube. Thanks for all you do, HA. Thank you, Lisa Lister. Thank you very, very much, as always. Greatly appreciated. Lisa, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for your generosity always, and please be here November 3rd for... It's going to be not only the biggest moment in all of YouTube and all of the internet, in the history of the internet, when Trump wins re-election, that will break the internet. Because they will have spent 4 years devoting their lives to taking down Trump and failing yet again. Lisa Lister, thank you so very, very much. Old school dad, man! All organic. All organic. Exactly. Exactly. Old school dad, man, thank you. Lisa, thank you so very, very, very much, Lisa. Thank you. I hope all is well. So, you have Trump signs. This is the dichotomy. This is the two. You can delineate the talking points, the absurd nonsense on the left, the vapid Che Guevara T-shirts, that are, you could buy, purchase at Target, that whole thing. The regurgitating of, the most vapid, not just political ideology, but it's like, what is that even? Nobody knows what it means. You can get into a long debate about Marxist theories or communism or socialism and how it's, if you think it's better than capitalism, then, they never give you a country that actually where it worked out. But let's just, you can go there if you want. But what on earth does that have to do with 30 million people unemployed right now because of a response? Because the pandemic itself didn't cause, yes, obviously, look, the flu causes people to lose their lives. This is obviously a lot worse, and this is a very serious issue. And, you should listen to medical experts 100%, and you should listen to, wonderful people who, give me some more chlorets. I'll do that later. I have impressions. I do impressions. Jokes a little later on. But you should listen to the World Health Organization, the CDC, all the experts. Definitely listen to all of them. I'm not saying, you shouldn't. I'm saying you should, yes. But did you have to tank the entire economy? Was there a middle ground? In hindsight, could you perhaps have found some way, because Sweden and even about like 7 to 8 red states didn't tank their entire economies. Okay, within this country, the 7 to 8 red states, and you look at Sweden, they're not doing anything. And there were different ways to Trailblazer TV, ATV, hello. There were different ways to perhaps tackle this. So in hindsight, but see, this is what there's so many competing messages. They stand for nothing. So on one hand, you have the righteous, and then you have President Trump trolling them, which is so hilarious. Puts a picture of himself on Mount Rushmore, which is so hilarious. Or like picture. So, and of course, like, it's like that's all they're doing right now. They're just their lives are dedicated to his personality. This is one of the reasons they'll lose. But here are the competing messages, and so Trump is actually doing something. Now they say, "Oh, you can't do this. It's the role of Congress." Well, this is in terms of politics. He's gained tremendously. He's won re-election not only because of this, because he never worked with Russia. We had a record low unemployment at one point. He signed the First Step Act. He's given more money. He's allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than President Obama or any other president ever in his first term. He's the first president to sign an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, which is running rampant. He's bringing home Americans, and he's reversing U.S. foreign policy. And in February, late February, early March, he signed a deal to get us out of our longest-running intervention, longest-running military conflict, quagmire, and counterinsurgency, just endless conflict. And when people say, well, it hasn't happened yet, well, do you think that President Trump got us out of the Paris Accords? You think getting us back in would immediately combat climate change, so it would reverse climate change immediately? This is why they're the biggest hypocrites in the world. When they want something, it's just one of the many things that has to happen to reverse climate change. Well, climate change is very important. Yes, it's a serious issue. I absolutely agree. I'm not sure about the 11 years we have left. That might be a hyperbole or a flawed estimate. But notice that when Trump gets us out of the Paris Agreement, and by the way, carbon emissions went down in 2019 under the monster Trump. But he gets us out of the Paris Agreement. Oh my God, President Obama, he did so much for climate change. The Paris Agreement wasn't immediately going to reverse climate change or the danger, the calamity of climate change. President Trump, when they say, well, he hasn't brought home Americans, yeah, but he's reversing U.S. foreign policy. Rome wasn't built in a day. And just like you acknowledge that, for example, something important to you, climate change, battling climate change, that's important to Democrats and left-leaning, morally superior left-leaning voters. So when President Trump signs a deal to end our involvement in these regions of the world and remove American soldiers from these regions of the world, their initial response is, well, it hasn't happened, these people are just being, sent to other countries. Yeah, but they're being sent out of harm's way. Number one. Number two, the eventual benefit or the goal, just like your goal of defeating climate change, is years and years of work, and we have no real year or date where you say finally we reverse climate change. President Trump, it took what until February of 2020 to begin reversing 20 years of failed foreign policy started by Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, all the wonderful Lincoln Project people. And, Madam Secretary, who will be the nominee eventually, she'll be debating Trump. It ain't going to be Biden. That would be hilarious. But, and God bless her. Let me tell you something. I will be the biggest Hillary Clinton supporter on the internet. She's fantastic. She has the experience. She has the charisma. She has the intellect. She's infinitely better than Biden. Infinitely better. But anyway, President Trump is reversing U.S. foreign policy. He is actually doing what a progressive or liberal or left-leaning voter would want. But because it's Trump, they don't they don't care about anything he does that's good. So, bucolic Buffalo! Pelosi offered to take down trillion stimulus offers if Trump would come up a trillion. Pelosi offered to take down $1 trillion in stimulus offer if Trump would come up $1 trillion. I think I'm reading this wrong, but bucolic Buffalo! Thank you. Bucolic Buffalo, thank you. Canely Smith, how dare you? He said, how dare you? So, I guess my long-winded, statement here is, of course, when they try the rebuttal to President Trump removing Americans from harm's way and reversing U.S. foreign policy is that, he really hasn't done anything. It's like, it's 20 years. You can't reverse 20 years in 4 months. He just signed the deal. We would never have gotten to this point without President Trump. We would never have gotten to this point with Clinton or Bernie Sanders. You think Bernie Sanders would go up against everybody from the intel community? He's still saying, Russia, if you're listening, I'm speaking with John Kasich. I'm speaking with Kasich at the convention. This is how weak the left is. It's unbelievable. Bernie Sanders, the vanguard of God bless him. He was a good human being. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet in 2016, and I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters according to the Washington Post. And I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post in 2016. And I said in 2015, NPR quoted me, I said Clinton would lose swing states. The polls were dreadfully off, and I was right. 538 said that Trump wouldn't even be GOP nominee. But you have John Kasich and Bernie Sanders join forces? This is Politico? For a night of unity? Are you kidding me? And so you get on one side Trump actually doing what they've been pontificating, what they've been preaching about, utilizing government and ensuring that people get unemployment benefits extended, that they don't get evicted, student loan help. Sorry, it's not exactly the way the left wants. I mean, you can't do anything right. Deferring student loan payments, suspending payroll tax. But then you get, okay, well, the payroll taxes fund Social Security. It's like, well, then why did you push for the end of the U.S. economy? Whoa, we had to fight the pandemic. It's like, well, you couldn't find a middle ground? Why is it that we can go on forever, but you have on one side, Forbes, Trump signs executive order, extends federal unemployment benefits, protects against evictions, defers student loan payments, suspends payroll tax. And then on the other side, you get billionaires need the working class. The working class does not need billionaires. Yes, and Queens does not need Amazon. And New York does not need Amazon headquarters. How does that help anyone? When they lose again, see, this is the gift that keeps on giving, because they think that they're like speaking truth to power, and they're fighting the good fight, and their voice on social media is very powerful and influential, and the Democrats are shaking in their boots and quivering, and Trump is on the ropes, and these powerful messages will be remembered for the rest of all eternity. It's like, no, Trump and every Trump supporter should want Democrats to keep saying these things. Billionaires need the working class. The working class does not need billionaires. It's so nonsensical and irrational and irrelevant to what's happening today. And it only highlights why President Trump's executive orders will help him win re-election. It's not like billionaires don't... Billionaires... if you even want to Michael Bloomberg ran for president in the Democratic primary. Do you think he cares about people in Congress disparaging billionaires? Oh, I'm sorry, Tom Steyer, 2 billionaires. You had 2 billionaires run. You have no Medicare for all, 0 Medicare for all. And then you these platitudes, these meaningless, vapid, meaningless statements. How does it help anyone? How does it give money, put money into people's pockets? I mean, you already kicked out Amazon, which de Blasio and All of the Democrats did these, estimates based on studies where, oh my God, one was quoted in USA Today that 100,000 jobs, even if 25,000 people came from other states into New York in the headquarters, you would still get 100,000 jobs in terms of the economic activity that Amazon would have created. But don't tell that to the working class, because they're going to defeat the billionaire class. The billionaire class. Mimic Chick, thank you so very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Mimic Chick, Lisa Lister, thank you. Mimic Chick, thank you so very, very, very much. Thank you. Cali Boy, let's get rid of... It's Cali Boy, thank you. Mimic Chick, thank you. Old School Dad Man, thank you. Lisa Lister, thank you. Thank you, everybody. So it's like Angela Goodwin. When the election is over, I send you lard cookies with plum jam and poppy seed filling so we can celebrate in old-fashioned style. I think I've had those. Angela Goodwin, yes. Can I tell you, anything made with lard is fantastic. And I'm serious. Thank you, Angela Goodwin. Thank you so very, very much. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Thank you. But like, this is why you have before Twitter, you would have this statement and nobody would care about it. You would have this kind of obsession or, this belief that, or you'd have political theories. That's fine. You'd have left-leaning or Marxist political theories or communist political theories or socialist political theories, and they'd be talked about in coffee shops or whatever, or in college classes, whatever. Okay? But now you have 435. What does it even mean? Like, what legislation? What did this congresswoman do in Congress to further this talking point or this maxim? Billionaires need the working class. The working class does not need billionaires. You had 2 billionaires running the Democratic primary. You have no Medicare for all bill. You have the Senate. You have Senate Democrats who are too cowardly to even vote on a resolution that this congresswoman helped write, a sponsor. Even the people who sponsored it, the senators, didn't even vote on it. They voted present because they didn't want to get caught up with doing away with air travel. So they're like, oh my God, they're making us vote on it. It's like, yeah, there's only 11 years left before irreversible climate change. That's what the UN says. So don't worry. When the planet ends and the oceans, basically, a tsunami wipes New York off the map, at least you'll know the billionaires need the working class. So as you're floating because of climate change, and you're on your bed sleeping, and suddenly you're floating and you're in the Atlantic, you could be like, the billionaires need the working class. The working class does not need the billionaires. Why is this shark, this dorsal fin, swimming towards me? Because of climate change and because New York is now floating into the Atlantic. What does that have to do with anything? And 93,000 shares. That's why I don't have Twitter. 93,000 retweets. And then the day that Trump, and just look, this is the difference between Trump and the left. Trump signs executive order, extends federal unemployment benefits, protects against evictions, defers student loan payments, suspends payroll tax. You might as well have had. This is exactly what Bernie Sanders, almost exactly what Democrats would have done if they were in the White House. On the same day, you have another tweet. Another reason we need real economic support for families, extended unemployment insurance. This is what Trump does. Stimulus checks, payment relief. Payment relief, okay, is to make schools reopening without maximum purpose, rather than sacrifice people's lives to fuel an economy that doesn't even value their lives. To fuel an economy that doesn't even value theirs. Which economy on the planet values life? So obviously you have a reference point. What's your reference point? What economy are you referring to? Canada's economy? Pick an economy. Sweden's economy? Because they've been open. So you're talking about Scandinavian countries. Which economy values human life? But again, they don't. It's like it's the most vapid statements. And then they have two billionaires running. I mean, and the left is like completely consumed with it. They don't understand why President Trump's going to win. He's going to win primarily because of foreign policy. Primarily because of foreign policy. So it's like, you look at the left now, they got completely played. Completely played as always. And I wrote an article in Huffington Post saying exactly why President Trump, one of the main reasons President Trump won, in addition to foreign policy. In addition to foreign policy. But it's like they keep on coming back for more. This is why, Big Chris! I'm drinking brew, writing my book. Yes! A zombie tale with no zombies is a challenge. Yes! Keep writing. I love that. Big Chris, keep writing. And just enjoy. That's fantastic. Listening to HA and Trump's the president. Today's a good day. Exactly. Yes! I love that. Keep writing. And Big Chris, when it's done, I would love a copy. And you know what? However you get it published, whether it's with a literary agent and you get a big publisher, or whether you self-publish it, I would love to get a copy one day. Big Chris, thank you so very, very much. Signed copy, Big Chris, signed copy. I would love that. Big Chris, thank you. Big Chris, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you. Big Chris, thank you again. Keep writing. It's fantastic. Fantastic. J-Man! All left want give out their 15 minutes of fame. Exactly. Well, they have exactly. J-Man, that's true. Lisa Lister. But what is the point? What is the point of talking about the billionaire class when when you had two billionaires who pumped $1 billion? Michael Bloomberg pumped $1.2 billion. Do you think he cares about the Twitter profiles of Devin Nunes' proctologist's neighbor's hairdresser's gardener? Do you think he cares? Do you think Trump cares? You think Trump is going to be defeated by saying things like that? Even if you believed it? And why don't you join the Green Party? Because you are they're full of fakes and phonies. They're the big, in the 80s, the word was called posers, the biggest posers on the planet. Remember the 80s? You're a poser, man. They just try to pretend. If you're all that, if you are so hardcore on the left, then join the Green Party. Join the Green Party. Join the Green Party. It's not that. It's everything that you want. Okay? They obsess over one country in the Middle East and let everybody else do everything else, no problem. They have Medicare for all. That's their main Medicare for all, Green New Deal, every single thing that you've ever wanted if you're a leftist. Why don't you join the Green Party? Oh, well, H.A. Badman say join the Green Party. So obviously it's a Russian plot. They have nothing to do with Putin. Nothing. But again, it's not fashionable to join the Green Party because then you'd be helping Trump. So instead they just retweet the billionaire class and then they feel good about themselves. Peace, Solano! AJ, you know what does not make sense is people are coming from Mexico to America to be free and the Democrats want to take that freedom away. Exactly, Pete Solano. Exactly. And God bless the Mexican people and the people watching in Mexico on this channel. I have viewers in Mexico. Thank you so very, very much for watching. And in the UK, Australia, my Australian crew is amazing. New Zealand, Nepal, Argentina. There's countries around the world. I just thank you very, very much. But Pete Solano, you're right. You're right, Pete Solano, you're right. Joe Boxer! Did you see the interview on the Futures this morning with Stephen Schrager, Connected Helper? I didn't, but that Stephen Halper that's an interesting one. That's like John Durham. See, the thing with all of that is everything they did from Halper to buying the Steele dossier was technically legal. Technically legal. But then when you look at it in aggregate, it's all a violation of 18 U.S. Code 371, conspiring to defraud the American people. So, if you constantly, if you try to set up and frame an incoming candidate, an incoming president, with an investigation that's purely politically motivated, because you don't have any evidence to begin with the pretext of losing because of Russia, when you haven't explained 2 deaths, 3, maybe I would say if it's not at the nomination, then after the nomination, sometime before the debates. But Clinton's going to be at those debates, and she'll be the nominee eventually. They can't go. There's no way they're going to go with Biden. This charade is, I'm the only person, officially the only person, who is calling this out for what it is. But that whole thing is, John Durham, Joe Boxer, thank you. I'm going to check that out, Joe Boxer. But that whole thing is, after the election, President Trump is going to win. President Trump is going to win for a number of reasons. But I can't stress enough, the biggest reason will be, on one hand, you have President Trump doing what Congress should have done, so doing what the House of Representatives should have done. Trump signs executive orders, extends federal unemployment benefits, protects against evictions, defers student loan payments, suspends payroll tax. This will be one of the reasons he wins re-election. So he's actually doing something. And then you have the wonderful progressives in Congress who, while Trump is actually doing things to help people's lives, doing exactly what a progressive or a Democrat would do, maybe not exactly, but pretty much. You have billionaires need the working class. The working class does not need billionaires. How on earth does that mentality or does that statement help anyone? when you had 2 billionaires running in the Democratic primary? How often can you get played on the left? I mean, you have the same pundits saying the same things for 4 years, and Democrats ended up with 2 billionaires and Tales from the Crypt, who wrote the crime bill and who would veto Medicare for all, and you have Bernie Sanders speaking with John Kasich. Tell me if the progressives have won. Tell me if the left has won. Tell me who's getting played, the DNC? Or people who are noble and honorable people. They're good people. They want Medicare for all. You can disagree with it. You can agree with it, but they're good people. I'm not disrespecting anyone who wants Medicare for all. But if you have people in Congress that focus on these vapid statements, where's the Medicare for all bill they passed? Oh, that's right. They're just playing everyone on the left, making sure they end up voting Democrat. The left is so easy to expose. It's such an overt grift. It's the definition of a grifting. They say that, H.A. Goodman, he was just a Bernie supporter for they make up like these dumb reasons. I wanted a president to bring home Americans. That's what Trump is doing. I wanted a president to reverse U.S. foreign policy. That's what Trump is doing. I wanted a president to go after corrupt intelligence officials. That's what President Trump is doing, to have the courage to do so. That's what Trump is doing. Not like Bernie Sanders. He's a good human being, Bernie Sanders. God bless him. But he's like, oh, yeah, Russia, if you're listening, Russia. And then they go after Tulsi Gabbard. And then they go after Jill Stein. And then they go after Trump. And anything they don't like is a Russian plot. Doesn't that, at some point, you have to call it childish? Like right when they were purchasing a Steele dossier. They're the most easily manipulated, most gullible political side that's ever existed. And they're so weak. Like I said, like this is what I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand this. And I kind of get it, but like, why don't you just join the Green Party if you're on the left? Just join the Green Party. Build it to a point where it is a serious thorn in the Democratic Party side. Because you are not going to change them from within. That was never going to happen. That was the work of people who found it, who basically got tens of millions in venture capital funding, and they have their shtick, their little fun and games charade, where they're like, oh yeah, should I vote Green? Oh, I'm going to vote Clinton again. Just going to hold my breath. And then some of them now are like, well, I'm not voting for Biden. Wow, that's really a very brave and courageous stand. You could have taken the stand in 2016. And then Democrats would have learned, okay, we had a sizable base that didn't vote because we cheated Bernie Sanders, therefore we will never cheat again. Now you had Iowa. With an app linked to Clinton. They cheated Bernie Sanders again in Iowa. So it's like, it's unbelievable. Angela Goodwin, Dems with billionaires, makes a lot of sense. See the communist leaders, Kim Jong-un. National leaders, none of them pick pennies from the ground. That's true. The authoritarians get wealthy from politics. The authoritarians aren't wealthy prior to politics. You're 100% right, Angela Goodwin. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Exactly. You're 100% right. Thank you. Matt Kalmark! Franks didn't get my... Matt Kalmark, hello! Hello! Dean Diefendorf! Tales in the Crypt. Dean Diefendorf. Matt Kalmark. To my Australian viewers, thank you so very much. Matt Kalmark, thank you. Thank you as always, Mad Cow Mark. Thank you as always. Angela Goodwin. But see, it's never good enough. It is never good enough. Trump wants to scrap payroll taxes that fund Social Security, Medicare. It's never enough. So, he wants to spur economic activity and economic growth, get people working again. But of course, anything he does, there's always a repercussion. There's always, oh my God, he's going after Social Security. The problem is that you've tanked the entire economy. That's the problem. You've tanked the entire economy. Why did you tank the entire economy? Did you have to do that? I think you have to give me some more chlorets. Or maybe lifesavers. So I can go ahead and swirl them around my mouth. I get a dry mouth sometimes. Congressman, I'm not in the position to talk about First Amendment rights. So if you want to protest, go ahead. I don't want to get into the Michigas. Go ahead and do it. Working, I'm not so sure. You don't want to go work because it spreads the you-know-what. So, shut it down, shut it down. So, there's a 50-step recovery plan that if you want to open up your state, you can go ahead and start. It's a 50-step recovery plan. You can open up your state. You can open up the economy of your state if you just do a couple of very simple things. Like juggle 4 bowling pins while being on a unicycle in the middle of a long beam across the Grand Canyon. Once you survive that, you can open up your state. Paul, hello. Valerie Rogers! Kanye. I would vote for that. I swear to God. I would totally vote for that ticket. I would totally vote for that ticket. But you have really wonderful people. You have wonderful, wonderful voices. And you have wonderful people who are giving, governors and the country advice on when we can open up the economy. I love these people. They're fantastic. They're really good people, and God bless this person. If you've ever heard this guy speak, he talks like this. And he has all the charisma and the accent and the mannerisms of somebody you should definitely listen to. Obviously, if you're a medical professional, you should listen to these people. But I just want everyone to understand that when President Trump wins again, and he will win, Democrats, the meltdown will be so biblical. It will be so biblical. Because you have General D, hello. You have you have people saying, you know what? You can protest, but you can't work. You can protest. That's not against any rules or regulations. But working, don't press your luck. And that's the hypocrisy. That's the hypocrisy. And you have liquor stores open, but not churches. There's utter hypocrisy. And nobody, like the media always paints, and this is another reason. Dr. Robert Shealy,
If it rains on election day, 25% of Dems will not show up to vote. Exactly. Republicans already stand in the rain for days to see Trump.
Exactly. Great point. Great point. And they know this. See, Dr. Robert Shealy, great point. And the propaganda ended up hurting them because they kept saying, well, if you leave your house, there's a good chance you could combust into flames. You had the wonderful people who just, because they wanted to protect you, they said you can't leave your house, and if you do leave your house, big problem, and you can't work, and now they expect voter turnout to be high. No, they're not even going to get. See, they think the mail-in ballots, they're like, oh, we can count the mail-in ballots. They're not even going to get enough mail-in ballots that they can. They're not going to get enough mail-in ballots to where they can make it close. So, Dr. Robert Shealy, you're 100% right, and I've stated for a long time. I've stated, John Hart. Remember that? John Hart. Thank you. I've stated for a long time that turnout, there's something about Biden. He looks and acts like an exhumed body. He communicates like a cadaver that got Botox and plastic surgery. Biden is so boring that paint watches him dry. There's no way that this man is going to be opposite Trump during the debates. The Democrats have something up their sleeve. How many times can you play poker with somebody, and then every time you play poker with the person, they have cards up their sleeves, they cheat. At what point do you say, I don't want to play poker with this person? Or, you know what, this person's probably cheating. Pete Solano, doctor, thank you. Doc, thank you. Pete Solano, HSC will be saying I'm melting like... She'll run in 2024. Pete Solano, I'm telling you, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Oh my God, Pete and everybody here, they are really, they're putting out all the stops. They are really going at it. They really, really have everyone thinking that, Madam Secretary just doesn't want to be nominated. Climb BMX, Pete. Thank you. Climb BMX. Biden should be sitting on a... I don't know what exactly, Andrew. I don't know what Climb BMX. I don't know what he's... I'm telling you, you see him riding the bike. I'm telling you, Bill Clinton's going to be like, oh, come over here. I'm right here. Come, oopsie. Oh, my goodness. Who put those tacks? Who put those spike tacks all over the ground? Are you okay? Joe, let me help you up. I'm sorry. You see, Bill Clinton with a bunch of mountain lions. Caged mountain lions ready to go after Biden. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here with all these caged mountain lions right next to Biden's bike path? That's bizarre. I'd never do anything, like that. My goodness. So, you know what? This charade, they're really going at it because they have Climb BMX. They have they've convinced the entire planet, but not me. Hillary's going to be eventually the nominee. I don't care if it happens after the DNC convention. I really don't care. And if they're incompetent enough to go with Biden, Trump crushes. I mean, and they're not going to, there's a limit to what, there's a limit, people. There's a limit to what, there's a limit to what media can do in terms of propping up a candidate. There's a limit. You can only... I cannot take a car that's been in a wreck that didn't work prior to the wreck, And I cannot say that this is a new Corvette. Behold the shiny new Corvette. I can't say that this absolutely this car that just got into a major wreck is a shiny new Corvette. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You can't deceive. If your life is only deceiving the public, you're not gonna. J-Spot J. I try to stay away from whataboutisms, but the protests. We'll never stay away from whataboutisms because it's linked to hypocrisy. Whataboutism is another way of saying just hypocrisy. So if you allow protests, you don't allow church services. That's a problem. You say, well, indoors, then you can have your church services outdoors, I guess, but Climb BMX, thank you again. Pop Analysis! Pop Analysis, hello! Pop Analysis, hello. I hope all is well. Enthusiasm matters. They overplayed their hands for the last 4 years. Oh, definitely. I agree. Trump's executive orders tops Dems again. Looking forward to first debate. Hope you'll have a watch party on election night. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Pop Analysis. I hope all is well. Hope you're doing well. And hope you're doing well on your channel. Pop Analysis, thank you very, very much. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I mean, they overstep their boundaries all the time. They keep on moving the goalposts. You know, they keep on saying, well, you can't do this. Then they vote in Illinois, Arizona, Florida, and Wisconsin in person. What happened to the pandemic then? So it was okay to vote in person. So Robert L., thank you. It's like it's unbelievable. And they always Pop Analysis, you're 100% right. And what they do always is they always change their tune. They're like, believe. Tolerate, don't believe so much. We need a healthy media to vet those claims. Then Pop Analysis. I don't know if you've been following this. I don't know if anyone's been following this, but what's happening with Ellen DeGeneres? Honestly, like I'm actually on Ellen's side with this. I don't know. Like I don't get this. Like, so what is she on NBC? What channel is Ellen on? What channel is that? NBC, right? What network? NBC. Okay, so you get these people, like Hollywood is like this bizarre world where all of society, all of human civilization has to care what happens in within a workplace environment in Hollywood because they're morally superior, where they're the ones at the forefront of moral superiority and how society should run. So Pop Analysis, I don't know if this is kind of similar to what you were talking about. They have this big uproar now that the producers on the Ellen Show say it's a toxic work environment, but they don't realize they're dissing themselves. Who do you think made it a toxic work environment? One person? This is so hilarious. These are the same people. I mean, who knows how much money they're making? What do you make as a producer on the Ellen Show? Probably a lot. You're probably making well over 100,000. Well over. That's probably nothing. If you're a top producer, you're making hundreds of thousands. So I don't get this the uproar now, because it's like it's the same hypocrisy and duplicity. If you had a problem, why didn't you get a lawyer, get an attorney, and take it take your case to NBC, or file a lawsuit against the show and the network. Instead, you go to the media and you say, well, this is a horrible work environment. Well, you work in Hollywood. What do you expect? It is a horrible work environment. Hollywood has always been a horrible work environment. When has it not been a horrible work environment? And I just want to let you know it's been going on for a long time. Well, then why didn't you do anything about it 10 years ago? How long has she been number one? This is a simple, like, it's so obvious what's taking place. The same thing happens when people come out of the woodwork against Trump, or it's like you have people who just want to take over the top spot, or they want to just do away with the show so they could either start other shows or begin another venture, or there's an ulterior motive than just the pristine, sterling moral superiority fetish that Hollywood or Democrats or liberals have. There's something going on other than, it might be true that Ellen DeGeneres was not nice to people, or maybe she was. Who knows? Nonetheless, you could have quit, or you could have filed a lawsuit. But you did nothing. You didn't do any of those things. You stayed there. And now you're taking it to the media, so then Twitter can retweet your allegations. And then you have Ellen coming out with an apology. And the whole thing is just so typical of the left. Then when President Trump wins, they won't realize how all of these little these little micro scandals, these little, moral fables and tales that they obsess over. They won't realize exactly why they're this failed political side. I'm actually on Ellen's side on this. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. If indeed you had a horrible work environment working for Ellen DeGeneres, why did you keep working with her? Why didn't you go to the media a couple years back? Why didn't you find an attorney and sue the network or the show? Because then you'd have to prove your case. What evidence do you have aside from gossip? This is what I can't stand. You had that one person who made how many people do you know? How many people do you know that's going to raise $1 million? $1 million for a children's hospital, and he wrote offensive tweets. So Anheuser-Busch, the cowards the spineless cowards, whoever decided to just not to cut ties with this person because an intrepid journalist found offensive tweets. So which is worse in our society? This is why our society. This is why when Trump gets reelected, they will not understand why, because the hypocrisy. Trump stands for a lot of good things. They don't acknowledge the good things that he stands for, and they lie continuously about him, and they get swept up in their own deceit. And they've done away with any holy book, any religion, any traditional value systems. They've done away with that, and they're now in this tornado of their own making, where they're even going after Ellen DeGeneres, and I'm on her side. I'm on her side. What evidence do you have that this woman did anything wrong? What evidence? Do you have any, I don't know, what evidence do you have? Emails, tapes, what? What evidence do you have that she created this hostile environment, aside from you complaining to Twitter and getting retweeted, or have you it's unbelievable. The whole thing, I still can't get, Anheuser-Busch cuts ties. I still can't with Carson King. This is unbelievable. Anheuser-Busch cuts ties with beer money fundraiser Carson King. Who were the genius, the brilliant marketing executives who decided to cut ties with this man? It's apologies are now meaningless. So, and there's no concept of true morality. True morality is, well, if you have some belief in the afterlife, If you raised $1 million, if you raised $1 million for children in a children's hospital who are going through so much, you've done more good in this life than offensive tweets, which are completely meaningless. But again, the left is devoid of like true morality. Big Chris!
Thanks, brother. We'll definitely send you a signed copy. You can actually read part 1 on Amazon. Oh, cool. I didn't know. Okay. Put the link here so we can all see on Amazon. It got 5 or 6 good reviews. Yes! Would love to hear what you think. Oh, The 5 Roads by C.F. Wolf. Okay. I'm going to look right here. The 5 Wolf. Go. Okay. Nice. Like the cover. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. I want everyone to I like the cover. Okay, let's listen here. Ladies and gentlemen, what's wrong with my man? Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. I'm going to try to check it out also. Big Chris. Check it out. Check it out, everybody. The 5 Roads by C.F. Wolf. Part 1. Awesome. Very awesome. I'm actually reading it now. It's good. Awesome. So yeah, check it out, everybody, and I will check it out as well. Big Chris, keep writing. Fantastic. Big Chris, thank you. I sent the link, everybody. So check out The 5 Roads by C.F. Wolf. Check it out, everybody. Thanks, Big Chris. Thank you. Calvin75! Everyone is financially independent enough, especially in Cali, to quit a job like that. Take a moment to think about that. It's not about if you are. I agree with you that you might not be financially independent to just instantly quit, but you don't stay in a job that is toxic. First of all, if you're a producer or if you're a top-level person making hundreds of thousands, even in California, that's enough money, more than enough money. Secondly, I agree with you that it's not just that easy to quit something you love, but at the same time, if you're experiencing a hostile work environment, then you don't just ignore all the alleged abuses for years and years. You can easily get an attorney, take the or go through the proper steps. So how many people had emailed or sent letters to human resources? You could take it up with HR. You could try to have meetings and try to fix the work environment. I mean, this is a hostile, toxic environment that lasted for years. So why didn't anyone address this issue? And I agree with you. It's not that easy to just quit, but at the same time, Frank Stein, thank you. At the same time, I agree with you on that. That's a good point. But at the same time, it's like you can't simply go to the media and say, this person is a horrible human being. Why? Because I said so. Well, do you have any evidence? No. Well, you know what? It would be different if, and maybe this is the case, I don't know, but it would be different if, for example, you had this long history of you're trying desperately, you have emails and you were a producer or you were working for Ellen DeGeneres, and you had this long this long trail of evidence where you took it up through the proper channels and you were completely ignored all the time. And then you finally said, you know what? I've had enough of this. This environment, I've taken it through the proper channels, and this environment is a horrible work environment. And furthermore, they're breaking the law because there are certain things that if you do certain things during any type of toxic work environment, you're going to be breaking the law. So then you go get an attorney. Okay. But what they're doing right now is just a pretty overt attempt at either trying to get a new show or trying to disparage Ellen, where there's almost certainly another ulterior motive. Perhaps there was a terrible environment. I'm not even saying there wasn't a terrible environment. They're making it up. Let's say there was a terrible environment. Why wait until this day and age to go tell Twitter and the media? What good does that do? What good does that do? And already, I mean, it's like she's proud. Who knows? Is she even going to be on the air anymore? I don't know. So, I'm not defending the notion that a terrible work environment should just exist. What I'm saying is, where's the evidence? This is not good. You can't just simply have a society like this is how they started with the Russia probe. They purchased gossip. And it's like you need evidence. When you make a claim, you need evidence. Where's the evidence it was a toxic work environment? That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's exactly what I'm saying. In that respect, I'm defending Ellen because I'm saying, well, where's the evidence? So it was commonly known and nobody did anything? So you mean to tell me, ladies and gentlemen, it's commonly known and the people who knew this were such cowards they did nothing? Oh, because they needed the paycheck? Because they didn't save up enough money when they were making big bucks for years and years based on working for a show that was so successful? I don't know. I don't get it. J-Spot J! Apologizing now is worse than admitting guilt. Yeah, I mean, I would have, if I was Ellen, I'd be like, good, let's, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? And the people who are, exactly, J-Spot J, and the people who are saying, oh, you know what, it was, such a horrible environment. Well, Ellen is one person. One person. How many people does she have working around her? And what did they do to contribute to the horrible environment? It's almost certainly the people who, very likely, the people who are going to the media now helped contribute to the horrible environment that they're complaining about. Eric H526, did I miss? Old school dad, man. HA, have you seen William Shatner's response to some Twitter trolls? An instant classic. I didn't. Spinster! I didn't. Hold on. Let me check. Like when they say, here, I'll just, when they say like, well, it's common knowledge that this was happening. Okay, well, why didn't anyone say anything? For the people who knew something was happening, why didn't they say anything? So, what is, I block, I mute, if you can drop all over your time. I blocked that. Oh my God, what's going on? I don't know what. What are they going after? Oh my God! It's even Captain Kirk they're going after. It's unbelievable. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Spinster, hello. Angela Goodwin.
I want to compare Ulyanov in the mausoleum and Joe in his basement, but cannot put it through seeing Ulyanov in 1974. He looked better than Joe. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's see. $1974. Vladimir Lenin. Thank you, Angela Goodwin. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Old school dad, man. I have to, I don't exactly know what that whole Twitter debate is about, but there's like nothing good that comes from Twitter. The left is going to retweet Trump to 8 years, thank God. Well, actually, that's a good thing. But Frankenstein! Long-time listener, long-time super chat here. Thank you. Trump did an amazing job laying out attempts of trying to steal the election when he signed his executive orders. Exactly. Frankenstein, exactly. And he did what they pride themselves on. Exactly. He did exactly what they've tried to pride themselves on, and their entire game, their entire charade is the following: vote for us, we'll protect you. The government will protect you. And President Trump's like, yeah, I'll protect you. I'll sign these executive orders, and Congress has the power of the purse. So technically, like, he's supposed to wait, but he's like, eh. And this is what's so great about Trump. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Only Congress has power of the purse. It's like, well, he did it. So then you can now Democrats can now say, you know what? Let's undo this. Frankenstein, you're right. You're right on that. You're 100% right. Miller Chillmore! Frankenstein, thank you. Miller Chillmore! I've seen U.S. unemployment numbers by state. Our 5 favorite governments have massive lead in the top. Wow, you know what? Miller Chillmore, I didn't realize that. And I understood that would be the case, but I never really looked at the numbers, and I have to do that. That's a great point. That is a great point. So let's just look at that really quickly. Unemployment by state. Unemployment by state. Unemployment rates for states. Let's see. Oh, wow. Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, California. Wow. Illinois, Michigan. Wow. 17% in Massachusetts. 16. Oh, my God, that's true. And look at that. Kentucky, Utah, Idaho, North Dakota, Maine, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Montana, South Dakota, Alabama. Many of these didn't shut down. And they have a fraction of the lives lost. My God, they are cruising for an epic defeat. I'm talking epic defeat, biblical defeat. Miller Chillmore, thank you very much. That is a great point that I need to. I'm going to do a lot of segments on that, by the way. Thank you very much. Miller Chillmore, that is a great point. You have all the red states with the lowest unemployment. You have 4.3% unemployment in Kentucky, Utah 5.1%, Oklahoma 6.6%, Alabama 7%. That's still high, but Massachusetts 17% unemployment, New Jersey 16.6%. Actually, Massachusetts 17.4% unemployment. New Jersey, 16.6% unemployment. New York, 15.7% unemployment. California, 14.9% unemployment. Michigan, 14.6% unemployment. Illinois, 13.9% unemployment. Yeah. Millard Showmore, great point. Great point. Great point. Great point. Millard Showmore. Pete Solano! They're going after Scotty, beam him up. This is a thing, like, Twitter will be one of the big reasons President Trump wins. That's a fact. It is one of the big reasons that President Trump wins again. It will be one of the biggest reasons President Trump wins. And they are not going to understand when they lose again. They're not going to understand why it happened. They will be completely blindsided. They will be completely and utterly blindsided. They won't know why. They will be, because they're doing it again. They're yet again. It's interesting. Twitter has become like the Salem, village that tried witches. It's like the most irrational. It's the most irrational cyber world where you have the most unfair show trials. And it's has nothing to do with morality, because you could just accuse somebody of something they're not. And it's like this mentality where these little cyber piranhas trying to take little pieces of your reputation or your image, and it's all based around this really bizarre left-leaning, pseudo morality that they've conjured up within the past 4 years as a response to President Trump. And the more they obsess over retweets and lame statements, the further they get from reality and truth. So it's Kaylee Smith, Illinois. Actually, hopefully Cook County doesn't mess it up for the rest of us like they usually do. Kaylee Smith. Every Democratic-run state is doing horrible in terms of the pandemic and the economy and the pandemic. And it's not Trump's fault. You can't... 6777. I have no clue. I'll stay away from that prediction because I just don't know. Thank you, 6777. Thank you. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just so interesting. They now have Bernie Sanders and John Kasich. Oh, the slate, the Trump pandemic. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it just happens to be that Democratic-run states and cities are doing the worst, but it's the Trump pandemic. Here's CNN. Trump's big power move leaves workers in limbo. It's like, what? What? Politico, with latest executive order, Trump gets approval from his golf club crowd. See, these headlines, when he wins again, because at the end of the day, the headlines that obsess over Trump and paint this world that doesn't exist, okay, we had record low unemployment before the pandemic. The response to the pandemic was largely led by Democrats and media. Democratic governors, you largely heard it was basically a the funny thing about Democrats, really quickly, they're like, oh, we didn't pass Medicare for all because Trump would veto it, or the Senate. Who cares? That's not why they didn't pass Medicare for all. They didn't pass Medicare for all because because it's not even a part of the Democratic Party platform. Because Biden would veto it. God, no wonder they always lose. I'm reading something that's kind of funny. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, look at November 3rd is right around the corner. They're not going to go with Biden, or else they would lose miserably. And you know what? If they go with Biden, sure, it's going to be a disappointment to me, because I want Clinton to be nominee. She's fantastic. They're not going to go with Biden. They're going to go with Clinton. I don't know how it happens, but it'll happen. I've never said I knew exactly when. I've always stated I think that the convention's the right time, but I said it could be after the convention. I've always made that clarification. I never said that she was going to win Iowa ever, or, she'll win the primaries, because they don't even really have primaries. So when it happens, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Hillary Clinton has the gravitas. She has the charisma. She has the money. She has the support. She does better with African American and black voters, Latino and Hispanic voters, than Biden. Biden would get absolutely crushed, decimated, obliterated. The polls are dreadfully off. They are even worse. At least with Clinton, those polls, like, she was actually campaigning. Biden is not campaigning. You have 30 million unemployed, and you have generally a world that is in limbo. We're in this kind of this somewhat, I don't want to say dystopian, but it's bordering on a dystopian world. Okay, and for many people, their economic future is in complete, their economic situation's in complete disarray. So the polls reflect this apoplectic media coverage, along with general discontent, because life is not, like, we don't have the usual campaign or election season. Biden is not 12 or 15 points up, just like Clinton wasn't. When NPR quoted me, and I said Clinton would lose swing states in 2015, there was the issue with trust. The swing state voters did not trust Madam Secretary. They still don't. But people don't trust Biden either. There's no reason to trust Biden, because he's not really giving anyone a platform. Biden doesn't stand for anything. What is he going to do differently from President Trump, other than implement the same foreign policy. There was an article the other day, expect President Obama's foreign policy when Biden is elected. It's like, well, you mean failed NATO interventions in Libya? That type of foreign policy? Sending Americans off to quagmires, which is what President Obama did, which is what Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld did, started. I mean, what does Biden stand for? Nothing. In every gaffe, every horrible, lame, absurd thing he says is swept under the rug. Everything that he does that would tank any other campaign, overtly racist comments, swept under the rug. They don't care. There's nothing he can do at this point other than probably, even if he took his clothes off and jumped into the reflecting pool, they'd be like, oh my God, he's so youthful. He's so great. Trump couldn't do that. They're consumed with contempt for Trump, so they think that Biden is like a perfectly fine candidate. And because they believe the polls that are always wrong, they think that it's possible. Florida Man Bear, pre-order your copies now. 2060 What Happened 11. Florida Man Bear, what happened this time? What happened again? Oh no, what happened? Florida Man Bear, it's going to be Hillary Clinton. It's going to be Hillary Clinton versus Trump. They're not going with Biden. I don't know what happens. It could be like, I'm telling you, it could be like, oh my goodness, what was I doing with these mountain lions and these cougars? Oh, I'll tell you what, I like cougars. I'll tell you that right now. No, I'm talking about the actual animal cougar. These mountain lions in cages. I mean, I just was walking, and I just happened to be next to a bunch of cages filled with man-eating mountain lions. And when Biden was riding his bike, I lifted up the little entryway, and there they went, and I had nothing to do with it. I don't know how it happens, but it's going to happen. I wouldn't ride my bike too often. Florida Man Bear. Florida Man Bear, thank you. William R. Abrams III. My wife was asleep. It's just me and my chihuahua, Mr. Tiny. This is a great job. Mr. Tiny. This is me and my Mr. Tiny. Yes. William R. Abrams III. Anyone with a chihuahua named Mr. Tiny is the man. I want to say hello to Mr. Tiny. That's. I also have a name for something like that. We'll just leave that out of the discussion. Oh my God, that's so great. That's so great. Florida Man Bear. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting how people are so enamored with media, but only because it bolsters their existing biases, not because they actually... So, you can say a lot of things about me, but I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. Then I became pretty strong Trump supporter, one of the strongest Trump supporters in all of YouTube. But I'm able to think critically and make my own decisions. Okay? I thought I was going to get a president like President Trump with Bernie Sanders. And there's a huge overlap. And I want everyone on the I'm with her crowd, please quote me, because it's true. There's a huge overlap between Bernie Sanders and Trump. Enormous. The Medicare for all and Russia, if you're listening, that nonsense, no.
But there's a huge overlap in terms of economic issues, in terms of tariffs against China, getting us out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, foreign policy, overall foreign policy, signing prison reform legislation. Huge overlap. I wrote about this in the Federalist. But people look at the media and they say, well, if the media is the Democrats, the way they look at it, the media is objective, and they happen to be on our side on everything, and the intelligence community is objective, and the intelligence community, they're on our side too. So obviously, everything we've heard about Trump and Russia is 100% accurate. I mean, obviously it is, right? And one thing also, like, this is what I swear to God, I can't stand this. I swear to God, I can't stand this. I swear to God, I can't stand this. Is they're like, when people say, like, and good people voting for Trump, good people, awesome people, say, gosh, I just don't like his personality. Well, what don't you like about his personality? He's brash, belligerent, fine. But who's going to look good? Who's going to look good when you have media trying to make you look bad at all times? On like a microscopic scale, I've had like a bunch of hit pieces. They've all helped me. My God, the haters drinking the haterade. It all helped me tremendously. Tremendously, because people who don't know who I am read, and then there's a lot of people on the left who like Trump. A lot of people. Crypto Morpheus! Dems went from I'm with her to what's with him. Crypto Morpheus! You have the best one-liners. Crypto Morpheus, yes. What's with him? Or what's with it? Crypto Morpheus. But when people say Crypto Morpheus, everybody here, when people say, gosh, I just don't like Trump's personality. He's not presidential. Well, when was the last time you didn't have a combative interview? When was the last time journalists treated him with respect? When was the last time he visited a gym or a library or a restaurant? I mean, you could look here. Just look here. Go to YouTube. Look, go to CNN. Obama visits. Here. Yukon Huskies visit President Obama and gift a rocking chair. Oh my God, that's so great. What would they gift Trump? A pile of poop? What? What would they gift Trump? This is for you, Mr. President. It's a Space Force rocket. Why don't you go inside and launch yourself into outer space? What would the Yukon Huskies give to President Trump? You have sports teams not, and they're we're opposing Trump. It's like President Obama did worse on everything from foreign policy to immigration. Much worse. Okay, they pretend to care, but when it's a Democrat doing worse, they're like, whatever. They tried. He's just following the law. But here, this is Obama visits gym. ABC News, six years ago, Obama workout caught on camera. Do you think they would even care? President Obama makes surprise visit. Oh my God, to a restaurant. Wow. President Obama heads to gym on Election Day morning. This is the Telegraph. President Obama and Joe Biden in White House workout. Oh my God, they're running around. It's like they actively promote. President Obama visits Stonehenge. Trump visits Stonehenge. And he ruined the giant boulders. Oh my God. He broke Stonehenge. Trump broke Stonehenge. It's like, where's the Trump visits, Jim? Hey, Trump visits this. They don't want him to visit anywhere. They don't want anything to do with him. How is that like, when people say, I just don't like his personality. Well, they don't treat him like a president.
You don't get it. He's still funny. Like, he's so amusing. Pete Solano. Biden's plane will disappear like Pete Solano. God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. God forbid. I know it's going to be like something like this. It's going to be like, oh my goodness, how was I to know that sharp spikes, if I threw them, would hurt a bicycle? I had no idea. But I mean, like, where is, like, Trump visits restaurant? Oh my God, Mr. President, we love you. He gets no love. He gets no love. No love. Trump gets no love. They only despise him. You have family members and friends who basically are like, I can't speak to you anymore. You're like, Trump. Well, obviously I don't. Trump is a racist. How could you like a racist? I obviously don't think of him in that way. I don't care. And this is like the TDS blank stare. The blank stare. How could you vote for a monster? I'm voting for Trump because of foreign policy. He's bringing home Americans. It's going to take time, but he's reversed U.S. foreign policy. He got us out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He signed prison reform. He gave more money to historically black colleges and universities than any other president, including President Obama. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea. This is what you get. This is the response, I swear to God, you get. And they're just thinking of an absurd rebuttal based on their contempt, the fact that they despise Trump. So they look at you like this. You could go ahead and talk. This is why I'm voting for Trump, and they look at you. And that's it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care why you're voting for Trump. They don't even care at all. Castamere, thank you very, very much. Castamere, thank you for watching for so long. 4 years, I appreciate that very much. Castamere, thank you. Castamere, thank you. Thank you for watching for so long. It's kind of useless explaining. It's kind of like how long have you been a criminal? That kind of question. Because they're like, what would compel you to vote for a narcissist racist like Trump who's a Putin puppet? Well, obviously I don't view him that way. They didn't listen to that part. I don't view him that way. How could you vote for Trump? Well, obviously there's a reason. Do you want to know what the reason is? Or do you want to just look at me like I've lost my mind? You know what? Forget about it. I'm not even going to tell you the reason. I don't even need to tell you the reason. Who cares? Just do what you want to do. You're going to lose anyway. What do I care? Go vote for Clinton. Because she's going to be the nominee. It's not going to be Biden. I'm not falling for it. I don't care if she's literally, if she becomes Biden's intern. It's still good. Oh my goodness, I bet you would want that. I bet you would want that, Biden. It's not going to happen. My wife's not going to become your intern. I don't care what happens, the charade with Bernie Sanders and John Kasich. To my friend John Kasich, I think we can all agree that we don't agree on anything. I think we can agree that I have more in common with Trumpy than you. John Kasich, establishment Republican, can I hold your hand and give you a warm embrace? And I just want to tell everyone how much I love Deborah Wasserman. Deborah, I just want to tell you. John Mark! Trump is a great president. He is. He is. He is a great president. Exactly. Mimic chick, exactly. They don't care anything good that happens. They don't report on. We had record low unemployment. It was President Obama's economy. Bill Maher was like, oh yeah, we need a recession. Well, we have the recession. You'll still lose. It's just unbelievable. It's like
So who's going to look good in this scenario? Who's going to look good in this scenario? Who's going to look good? And the left is only about mocking and denigrating and disparaging and insulting. That's it. That's it. That's all they're about. That's all they're about. They don't have arguments. They do not have arguments. That's all they're about. So it's like you get like what the left does is that they're gonna go, and their thing is, make fun of the person and insult the person, and demean the person's voice. And if you can make fun of him enough, then people will realize, don't listen to him. Like, I remember people would say this, like, those people who were duped by H.A. Goodman. It's like, well, how did I deceive anybody? The argument was there and I was right. So I was one of the few, like the only person on the left. I don't know anyone else on the left that was saying Clinton was going to lose. So I called that election. It's like never enough. So, like, you don't deceive with arguments. You have people who agree with the argument or disagree, and if the argument makes sense, then it is far more important than the messenger. They look at the messenger. They're like, oh, the Russians want you to ask questions about Biden. That's actually part of a Russian plot. Oh, really? Really? It is a Russian plot to ask questions about Biden. Okay. Oh my God, it's going to be so great when they lose. Like, their arguments are so absurd and just so ridiculous that they truly believe. They truly believe in these arguments. They truly believe in it. So it's like, it makes no sense, but then again, it's like, you can't, at a certain point, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to have to look in the mirror. It's just a matter of when. Brutus DM? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We can't do that. No. I'm against that. I'm against all of that. Brutus DM, thank you. I'm 100% against all of that. And Brutus DM, I love you. I apologize. I've done this. This is I think the Lollipop coined this, the Lollipop rule, just because of the algorithm. And just because, and God bless you, I know it was a joke, but I just got to remove the message. I apologize. Brutus DM, I apologize. I had to do that because of the algorithm. It's the Lollipop rule. I think Lollipop coined the phrase, the Lollipop rule. Thank you. Brutus DM, I apologize. But definitely, not a fan of it. It was funny, though. I appreciate it. Brutus DM, thank you so very much. I apologize. But, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't started the election, ladies and gentlemen. And even if Biden accepts the nomination, it's because of some kind of some type of overt deception, because they know they can't win with Biden. The only person they can win with is Clinton. They can't win with Biden. They can only win with Clinton. She's the only chance they have. She's literally the only chance they have. So, I don't know. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
I do not know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. No, Brutus DM, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for always watching. And God bless you, Brutus DM. Thank you. And everybody, God bless to my super chat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruin Lancer! The fact Biden has no VP yet means he's out at DNC. I agree. They say what, tomorrow? Bruin Lancer, what did they say tomorrow is going to be could be Kamala Harris, who knows? Biden VP. The final Biden can't, okay, so the final Joe Biden VP rankings. So Kamala Harris, which is funny because she called him a racist. So there you go. Or yeah, she very. If this is how Democrats are like, you're not a racist, but let me spend 20 minutes explaining how you were, but you're not because you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, of course. Kamala Harris, why? Simple. She has the best combination of skills. She's a charismatic candidate and debater who has been vetted on the national stage and will be a historic pick. Does she have drawbacks? Yes, who doesn't? Her record as Attorney General. She withheld exculpatory evidence, yeah. And her performance as candidate of her own. She didn't even make Iowa. That's like, she's like another Biden who, like, barely, oh my God, Tales from the Crypt. There's no way they go with Biden. There is no way they go with Biden. I don't know how it happens, but Hillary Clinton is going to be nominated because she's the only chance they have. They cannot win with Biden. There's no way that Biden defeats Trump either in a debate or in the presidential election. I called 2016. I'm telling you. And 2016 was the same apoplectic media coverage. Actually, this is even worse. So, ladies and gentlemen, God bless to my super chat. Thank you. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Jasher, I think that it's going to be Clinton versus versus Trump in the debates. H.E. will Trump and Biden debate. I can't imagine that they would do that. My firm prediction is Clinton's going to be nominee eventually. I don't know how it happens, either after the convention, and I think it's going to be Clinton versus Trump at the debates. And that'll be the biggest political call of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Jasher, thank you. Anthony, hello. J-Spot J. J-Spot J, let's see here. Oh, okay, so. Bruin Lancer, thank you. J-Spot J. It's like a reverse Star Wars story. J-Spot J, thank you. William R. Abrams, I think Biden is picking. That'd be fantastic. Jasher, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless to my super chat. Thank you. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Tammy Eaton. Joe just dragging his feet, hoping people won't notice if he picks Kamala. It'll be Hail Mary move. Hildebeest is an elitist. Tammy Eaton, I think it's going to be Clinton and Clinton and Biden's nominee. And I think Spacefish, hello. I think that's what's going to happen. Tammy Eaton, thank you so very, 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 very much. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. We have Eric H526 there. Thank you so much. People, thanks so much. I'll be here tomorrow, obviously. Be here every evening. at around 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific for my 2-hour live streams. Tell your friends, and they're a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun here. To my super chat, thank you. To people who support me on Patreon, thank you. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. If you want to be part of a newsletter, people, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com.